We are Team Inspiration, a group of middle and high schoolers who are deeply invested in STEM. We began as the First Tech Challenge team last year, building up to 3 robots and doing over 30 community service events. We are sponsored mainly by Northrop Grumman, a global aerospace and defense technology company. To introduce our idea, we would like to tell in a 100% true story.
Once upon a time, 4 adventurers went to space: Colin, Mabel, Stephen, and Eric. After 3 whole years of making zip ties, they had their products. As they boarded the ship, they started up the engines, but the rocket flew the sky-high distance of only 1 millimeter. They realized that they were too heavy for the rocket. Luckily, the lab that they were bringing was modular, so they asked any volunteer to go with one portion of the lab. The bold Eric said,
"I volunteer as tribute."
So they sent their payload, an oxygen-making laboratory experiment, and Eric to the moon itself, so one day the whole team could go to the moon. Eric landed on the moon and ventured into a lava tube to put the module underground in the moon. This was so the laboratory would be protected from meteors and comets. 3 years later, the other 3 team members launched off into space with the rest of the modular laboratory. As they landed, they bounded over to their teammate and connected the rest of the laboratory module. It fit perfectly. They lived happily ever after on the moon.
In order to make this a true story, we would leave an underground modular lab for oxygen production on the moon. The oxygen would be produced by algae and extracting oxygen from the soil. To minimize the amount of mining involved, the lab would be placed in an already existing lunar lava tube. This living organism in the lab would be the first step to creating an environment to support long-term human ventures in space.